stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into One Buck Place, Buccaneers training camp, day 10. Here as we are live, just walked over from practice where Baker Mayfield was having an uneven day. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. Tim Ham joining me from our Dallas affiliate, DSP Media. What's up, Timmy? How are you, my friend?
Man, I have been in cell phone plan hell for now a full day, and I am not enjoying life right now.
So what happened?
So I'm trying to change plans because I'm tired of paying AT&T $470 a month.
Holy, what?
Yeah, my cell phone plan is $470 a month, JP.
How many Indians you got on that tribe?
I got me and four kids on it.
Well, I'm no economic genius, but I think you're paying a little bit too much. Based on some of the commercials I've seen on TV, I think you might be.
I should be on them, right?
Charged. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to change carriers. I got a better deal, and AT&T assured me my phones were paid for. My plan was fine. You know, I'm up to date on my payments and crap. And then,
of course,
literally from the time I paid, I paid for my new plan and got the SIM card sent to me. And the 5 days, it took, by the way, which is way too long to have SIM cards shipped to you, took 5 days to get them. Apparently, my old plan had flipped months. So now I had a balance. So now I can't port, I could port my number over, but they won't unlock my device because now I owe them for another month. So I'm trying to figure out, and I had already ported my number over.
Right, yeah.
So now I could go pay the $470 for the month, but now I have no phone because my phone's already on the other new carrier. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get my phone number back onto my old plan to use it for another month and be out another $500 freaking dollars.
Ridiculous.
Dude, my phone number's in purgatory. Like nobody knows where it is. I've had that number since 1998. I'm not giving it up.
And also, talking to a human being to get any of this straightened out is absolutely impossible, correct?
No, AT&T has the absolute worst customer service. They always have. I switched to AT&T 5 years ago from Verizon because I thought Verizon had the absolute worst customer service.
Oh, they're horrible.
AT&T's no better. Look, and I'll pull back the curtain. I was switching to Mint Mobile, right? It's a prepaid plan.
Right.
But dude, I was going to pay $20 a month for each line. And bring all my phones over, right? Which is cool. I don't care if it's prepaid. Ryan Reynolds swears by it, dude. If it's good enough for Deadpool, it's good enough for me.
I'm all in on Deadpool.
Right? So I was
favorite superhero ever.
They've been nothing but nice about it. They're like, well, look, you get a free 7-day refund anyway for any reason whatsoever.
Wow.
So just fill out the form and you'll get your $200 back that you prepaid. By the way, it was $180 a month, or it was $180 I had to pay up front for 3 months of service.
Jesus. I would have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm getting all that back, but man, it's been a freaking I can't talk to a single person at AT&T.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody out there is commiserating with you, and it's not just cell phones right now. It's almost every business. You try to get customer service from Chase Bank or anybody, you're dealing with somebody probably in the Philippines that barely speaks English. Can't do anything but read from a script, can't think, can't do anything because they're paying them, $1 a day. And it's horrible.
So let me throw this at you.
Meanwhile, Americans can't get jobs.
This will blow your mind right here. So our good friend, our colleague here on FanStream Sports, the great Norm Hitzges.
Yes, the great Norm Hitzges.
He flew out to Monterey, California over the weekend to MC a big golf charity event for the great Pat Green. Right out there. He was scheduled to fly home on American Airlines at 5 o'clock California time, be home by 10 or so and whatever. And he had to record his show for us for Monday morning, but they had some mechanical issues with the flight. They ended up not leaving California until almost midnight California time. He's 80 years old. He's in a walker and a wheelchair. He uses wheelchairs at the airport because walk is too far for a walker and all that crap, right? By the time they got the flight was taken off, there was nobody to help him with the wheelchair. His wife had to
Oh
push
my
him around.
God.
When they landed at DFW, there was no one at American Airlines to help him with a wheel. They found a wheelchair, but there was nobody to help him with it. The next morning, he's trying to call customer service. Did you know American Airlines has no customer service phone number? And it's on purpose because they'd be fielding 20,000 calls a day.
Right, exactly. That's why none of these places have. It's like with Twitter. You want to get your Twitter back. You want to talk to a human being and reason with them and try to find out what exactly happened that
Yeah,
they
good luck.
accused you of doing that you did not do.
Yeah.
You can't talk to a human being. You
Good
cannot.
luck.
That's why we say to all of our great sponsors that we have here, like Italiano Insurance, you can call and talk to Charity and have an actual human being. Third generation plumbing, John Rodriguez. You call there, you will get an actual human being that speaks great English, that knows the business. Um, all of it, Extravaganza Productions, Talion, Golden Diamond Source. These are all great local companies. Bay Area Modern Medical, Jeeves Law Group. They're all local companies that employ Americans and people in your community. So we support those people, not these huge. And I know you got to deal with these other companies because we don't have a local airline, but
Right.
it's hard. It's really really hard, and it's getting worse.
We used to have a local airline here. It's called Southwest Airlines. Now they're national, and their service sucks too.
Yeah, they've gone completely the way of the big carriers now. There's no charm left.
Nope.
Expensive flights, and they're even going to reserve seats now so they can make more money. So you have to pay for your seat. So
Dave Herb Kelleher retired, the founder of the great Southwest Airlines here, which was a friend of our family.
Really?
That place went to pot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's you see that all the time when family-run businesses sell out to corporate entities. Everything about the business changes. Everything about the business changes. All right. Well, that's enough bitching here from the old heads. Let's get to some football.
Get off my lawn!
Get off my lawn there, people. Dan Lucas is going to join us at 10:30. We're going to talk some Olympics with him of NBC Sports, the News Channel 8 here. So we'll chat with Dano and Scott Reynolds, who we were just watching practice out there. Will join us in the 11 o'clock hour. So, and any comments or questions you guys have, put them up in the comments, and Tim will read them off to me. I will read. Saw Nathan Elliott out here, one of our big commenters and fans.
Oh wow!
Out here. So big time.
He's going to be in Dallas here for the Bucks game, I think.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yeah. All right. So practice today. They had 2 days off. JTS was back. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was back here practice here today. They're going full pads. Just got 11 on 11. Final play that I saw was a Baker Mayfield interception, except it wasn't an interception. As I'm reaching for my phone, Baker just threw another pick. The defensive back, Banks, I believe it was, bobbles the ball. He's about to get his second pick. And as he's bobbling the ball, Chris Godwin takes it away from him and runs for a touchdown.
That would have made the top 10.
Yes, that would have made the top 10. Literally right in stride. They come together as the ball hits the defender. He bobbles it up, and Chris just reaches his hand and swaps and takes off down the sideline for a touchdown. Not quite what Baker had in mind, but Baker. He's had a tremendous camp. By my eyes, he's been fantastic. Today is not one of those days. Threw a pick on a deep ball to Jalen McMillan. And as we've said, and I'm not trying to make excuses for Baker Mayfield, as we've said, they're going to try to push the envelope a little bit, especially with the younger players. Jalen McMillan, you want to get him some deep balls in traffic to see how he reacts. Normally in a game, do I think Baker makes that throw? No, too much traffic on the deep ball. He probably would just check it down, but he wants to see, and the coaches want to see how Jalen reacts on deep balls. Does he go up and get it? Does he make the catch? How does he, there's a lot of things they want to see. So I think you got to kind of temper some of these things. And remember, it's just practice. When we tell you guys about practice, we're not sitting here acting like this is real football. All right. We're just trying to since you can't be out here and we are your eyes and ears, we're going to tell you what we see. So keep it all in perspective. We're not saying, Baker's going to have a Pro Bowl season, although we think he might. But this was not a great day for him. He missed a couple passes, missed the one over the middle to Cade Otton that was a little high. Then had a couple of nice checkdowns, one to Trey Palmer, who's having a great camp. And that was another catch in traffic, which is something that I think was not a strength for him last year. and I think he's gotten much better at it. In fact, I chatted with him a couple days ago after the Saturday practice one-on-one, and we talked a little bit about that. And he said, yeah, as a rookie, you're trying to just do the right things, right? You're concentrating on running great routes, being where you are, and then when the ball's thrown your way, it's kind of okay. I got to make the catch, but it's this year it's becoming more easily, Tim. It's more, I'm not thinking about the catch. I'm attacking the ball and going out and getting it. And you could definitely see a difference. He's definitely more confident in what he's doing and making catches in space. Um, Bucky Irving had a couple of nice catches in the flat, which he continues to impress. And I think he's going to be a significant, when I say significant, part of this game plan. Remember, Chase Edmonds is still not out here, and you cannot make the club in the tub. And Bucky Irving may be letting them forget about having a veteran backup in Chase Edmonds because he's played really, really well. And Sean Tucker, second-year guy out of Syracuse, who made the squad last year, having a really, really good camp. Not the most natural catcher of the ball, but he can run the football. He's got a burst. Saw that again today. So Baker, threw a pick to Marcus Banks, backup safety, and that was the one to Jalen McMillan. Not again, I don't think he makes that throw in the game. So all in all, a couple of Rashad White running the football. You see, just in the spacing out here, the different run game that you're going to see, the different schemes. Continue to see that. So now they're on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick would say. Cincinnati Saturday night, their first preseason game. I don't think Todd Bowles has said yet if Baker is going to play. I'm one of those guys that wants to see, especially in a new offense, I think Baker should get some time in each and every game.
Oh, we lost JP. Here he is. There he is.
Am I here?
Yeah, there you are.
How's the audio? Is it good? It's a little windy out here.
No, it sounds fine.
Okay. Yeah, a little windy, little remnants from Debbie.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, little remnants from Debbie. Not the Debbie Does Dallas that you had, but
She did too, by the way.
the Debbie that did Tampa Bay here and the entire coast. Had a lot of flooding. By the way, thoughts and prayers going out to all the folks. I saw the flooding down in Sarasota, the Columbia restaurant at St. Armand's. Did you see that? Looked like
I hadn't seen video.
Yeah, it looked like it had a couple feet of water in it. All St. Armand's Square was, or circle was all underwater. Not underwater, but there was about 2 feet of water in the street.
Right.
Big storm surge. So a lot of flooding. I mean, that's a storm. That was a Cat 1 that was 60 miles off the coast of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it didn't even hit, did it? Yeah.
No, not really. But the surge is significant, and that's the thing. You're on that side of the storm. Surge, went right up Tampa Bay and flooded out some places. So Gulfport was flooded. A lot of the beach areas. Once again, Fort Myers got it bad. They just, they're done recovering. Cedar Key, Steinhatchee, all those places up in the Panhandle really got flooded. So it's Italiano Insurance. Make sure you are insured, folks. And 44% of you are underinsured. I never miss a moment, right, to get my sponsors in. So make
That's why
sure
they love
you
you
are,
too.
813-877-7799. Make sure you're fully insured. And you also have flood insurance. Homeowners insurance is not flood insurance. Remember that. You got to have both. So if you don't have it, and that's the one thing that we learn every year. There's a lot of places in Central Florida, up in Apopka area, and those areas that never flood got significant flooding. So you think you're okay. Oh, it doesn't flood here. I don't need flood insurance. No, make sure you have it, because if you don't, that's where a significant portion of the damage. You got to rip all your drywall out.
Yeah.
And all that stuff has to be done. So you do not want to be stuck with that. So yeah, that was not a good one. We got a whole hurricane season left to go. So hopefully,
the thing about hurricanes, not that there's anything good about hurricanes, but usually you've got pretty good advance notice for things like this, and that doesn't mean if you don't have the right insurance that you can just pop on at the last minute and get that covered. So you need to take that stuff seriously and get that covered before the season starts. But we
were in a tornado warning yesterday. Not a watch, a warning.
Yeah, that's the stuff you can't prepare for enough, and we have most of those here. We have tornadoes here all the time. I had 3 tornadoes in my neighborhood last season. Like just yeah, it was nuts, and they missed my street, thankfully. But you remember the struggles I had with power and stuff last year. And it was always the storms coming through and knocking out our power, and it's just tornadoes. Here in North Texas, we're used to it. So we just I go out in the backyard and I watch tornadoes go through the area.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, you could get a little. It's like with hurricanes with us, you can get a little complacent. But I'm telling you, I'm watching the radar, and they're on TV, and they're showing like your neighborhood, like this is where we saw the tornado. And I'm like, all right, kids, downstairs bathroom in the middle. That's where we're going. Hold on, everybody, grab a hold of the toilet when the freight train comes through.
Grab the dog. Yeah.
Yes. Well, with one dog, the other one will leave out.
They always come back.
Tally gets in. The other one, fine. But somehow that dog, that mangy dog, will find its way back home, no matter what. I know that to be true. So,
John Hill comments, back to watching show yesterday was without power and accumulating rainwaters. All good today. The chance of flooding damage is greater than the chance of wind damage. Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right, John. Good to know you're okay, my friend. And remember, folks, it's just property. When the tornadoes and those other things and serious hurricanes come, get the hell out. You can always buy the property, buy the stuff you lose. Life being injured is nothing to mess with these storms. So always heed those warnings to get the hell out when they tell you to. All right, other football stuff that we saw here today. Still no Yaya Diaby. He's going to be out for a while. They got Cincinnati coming up Saturday night. Not probably going to see Kyle Trask. And I'm here to tell you, I haven't asked Todd Bowles about this, but just eyeballing this stuff, Kyle Trask is in a battle for that backup position because he is not impressed in this camp at all, in my mind. We're the media out here. We're making jokes about the daily interceptions, if not multiple, of Kyle Trask, and he's not completing enough balls either. He's just not very accurate in practice, and he needs to be better. I'm not saying John Wolford is out here lighting it up, but to say that Kyle Trask is just definitely the backup quarterback, not true. I think he's got some work to do, no question about it. So that might be something that plays out in the Cincinnati games. Let's see which one of these quarterbacks can master the Liam Cohen offense first. I mean, Wolford obviously has a leg up because he ran this in Los Angeles. That's why they brought him in. One of the reasons, that it all marries together. So I think he does have a leg up, and Kyle Trask will be fighting for his job. So I think these preseason games are probably more meaningful for him than most everybody else. I mean, there's some other position battles, Tyke Smith and Christian Izian, in terms of the nickelback. I think that's another one that we'll be watching. Zion McCullum, I believe, is going to be the starting corner, but Bryce Hall is definitely pushing him for that job. Bryce is a starter caliber outside corner. He played with the Jets, was behind two really good ones in Sauce Gardner and can't think of the other guy offhand, but he's a starting caliber corner in this league. And Zion is stepping up in his third year, has all the tools to be a great player. But if he doesn't get the job done, they've got somebody that can step in. So I think there's probably a little bit of a battle there. Chris Braswell is fighting to prove that he deserves some time, especially in the absence of Yaya Diaby. Kalen DeLoach, who I had a nice conversation with the other day, who's been flashing a lot, the undrafted free agent out of Florida State. These are games where he can show his great instincts, playmaking ability to solidify his spot on the team. I think he's still very much fighting for a spot, special teams as well. Bucky Irving, a chance he'll get lots of reps. So he's got a chance to really impress the coaches with his speed and his burst. So these are all things I'm going to be watching for in the Cincinnati game. And I think there's some definite battles going on here. No question about it.
So let me ask you a question, JP, on Kyle Trask. This is now his fourth camp. He's entering his fourth season with the Bucs. Do you think at this point, he's 26 years old, do you think he needs a change of scenery? Like, if for some of those guys, they just get so defeated in the, when there's talk about him, competing for a starting job for 3 years, and he really has no shot for 3 years, and at some point it gets in their head. And sometimes you just got to move those guys. They need to go somewhere else with a new promise, maybe new scenery and new colors on their uniform in order to kind of get back in their game. And I just think Kyle Trask might be done in Tampa regardless of whether he stays.
I think that could very possibly be the case. And my question is, who's going to want him at that point? He really hasn't done anything. He's thrown 9 NFL passes. They had an opportunity at the end of the 22 season in a meaningless game against Atlanta to play him, but Brady wanted to play, and he didn't see. He didn't come in until the fourth quarter. I thought that would have been a great opportunity to see because Kyle has never been, even going back to his Florida days. Remember, he was a backup in high school and was 9th on the depth chart at Florida, and was never a practice guy. And only when he got into games did he really, really shine. So he might be one of those guys that just is a gamer, but he hasn't been able to show that here. He's just not gotten the opportunity. So I think they value him. I think they still believe in him, but at some point you got to show it on the field. And I thought he had a really good camp last year. I thought he really did. And maybe he's struggling with this offense. But I don't think, and I'm not saying the guy's trash. I'm not going there. I mean, I'm just saying at this point, I would like to see someone who's a little bit more polished in his accuracy and completing more balls.
Right.
Now, remember, he's also working a lot of times with second and third receivers. So those are, sometimes difficult for those guys to catch on. But I do think my point is, I think it's a battle and for that backup job. And I think these probably preseason games like Cincinnati on Saturday night are going to be very important for him. Well, it is definitely windy out here. We're getting like
I see that, yeah.
My laptop almost blew away here. Um, so yeah, and other observations here today. They're going 11 on 11, so you see a little bit of the run game. In other days I've really seen them popping some runs. This defensive line and this linebacking core, I think, are going to be very, very much improved against the run this year. And I think a lot of that is KJ Britt instead of Devin White. Devin White was just not a great run player. He could not get off blocks, would not take on blocks, would give up his gaps. Everybody knew it, and that's where they ran the football. That's not happening with KJ Britt now. And you're seeing there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of room to run today. We've seen a lot of gashes through through training camp, but today did not see that. There was you see Khalid, you can't see Vita Vea is moving around extremely well at his new svelte 335. That's my guess. I'm weight guessing. Where used to be 360. Looks so much better. Still has that stout ability to not get moved in the double team. Cansey is penetrating. I think this run defense is going to be much, much better, and it needed to improve because there were times when, especially Philadelphia last year, when they came in here the first time, they just ran at will, and a couple other things Detroit did as well. So they definitely need to be better in that category, and I think they will with KJ Britt.
It's going to be fun to watch for sure, and especially here in this preseason as they kick off against the Bengals. They move on to the Jags and the Dolphins. It's going to be fun to see some of these position battles at linebacker, at corner. I think one of the most interesting ones you're going to see is, like you said, at backup quarterback, because I think there's a huge opportunity there. So,
yeah. Hey, by the way, Kate Otten today, again, making some really, really good plays. He's rounded out. He's probably put on, I'd say, since his rookie year, a good 15, 20 pounds. So he's a much more stout tight end. And he just moves great. He's very commanding out there. He catches the football, breaks tackles, moves down the field. He's really rounded into a really, really good tight end. I think he's going to have a great season in this offense. So there's, but I don't know how much the starters are going to play. We'll probably hear from Todd Bowles today a little bit more on that. As now, after the first 2 days off, now they're probably zeroing in more on getting ready for that game and the plan for that game. And again, I would like to see the starters play at least 2 series in each and every game. That probably isn't going to happen. I think the trend in this league now is for starters to not play at all, and I think it leads to a lot of sloppy play. in the first few weeks. I mean, the Bucs offense took a while to get off the ground last year, and they didn't play those guys a lot in the preseason. And I think hopefully they learn from that. I mean, I get it. You don't ever want to get a training camp injury. I get it. You want to get the guys to the starting gate. But are you going to sacrifice the first 3 or 4 weeks of offense to do it? I don't think so. But I understand it. I understand for the coaches, it's a bit of a gamble, but it's football. And I think if you want to get out of the gate quick, and the Bucs need to do that because the middle of their season is freaking ridiculously hard. So they've got to get out to a 3-1 start. And if Baker Mayfield's playing his third series of the year in the first game, I just don't think I don't think that helps them. And I know they get a lot of work in practice where you can control it. I get all that, but it's just different. Game speed is different. All right, we'll take a quick break. Dan Lucas is going to join us, and we'll talk some Olympics. We'll talk some Rays baseball. It's been a while since we had Dan on. Always fun to chat with him. Just moved his Division I athlete son into the dorm, so we get some dorm stories as well. That'll be fun. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Go to their website, get a free case evaluation, JEEVESLawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Back in 3 to Bucs Training Camp. Stay with us.
Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Golden Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect peridot piece. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmonton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. Folks, they've been 60 years, named the Small Business of the Year Chamber of Commerce, mostly because of their incredible customer service. So they'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance, make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799, ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez in Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here. We're live from Bucks Camp. Look at that beautiful sky behind me there, Timmy. The red flags. See the Buck flags behind me? I
Looks
love
miles away from a hurricane.
Yeah, it's blowing out here today. I tell you what, hope my laptop doesn't blow away. Welcome back. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go see our good friend Chris Lugo there. Make him your new primary care physician. He'll take care of your testosterone levels, make sure your immune system is boosted up, and generally make you a healthy individual. Because he'll spend time with you, unlike your primary care now, right? Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, do we have Dan Lucas jumping
We do.
aboard? All
We
right.
do.
Let's welcome him in, the man, the myth, WFLA's own News Channel 8's Dan Lucas. What's up, Dan? How are you, buddy?
JP, how are you today? Good to see you out there at camp today. Everybody got Yaya Diaby walking around, so we can all calm the nerves a little bit as we count down to opening day. So got a game this week, so that's going to be kind of fun for us.
Oh, and where can we see that game, Dan?
You will see that game on the CW Tampa Bay. So you got to look at your listings. The CW for the first game, then the next two will be back on News Channel 8.
Oh, because you guys got Olympics.
Olympics on News Channel 8. So
Right.
We'll be 6:30 pregame Saturday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Nothing changes. Chris Myers, Rondé Barber, the gang.
Nice.
And we'll see what Todd Bowles puts on the field against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think it's an important night. You're going to see mostly depth, obviously, but particularly on the defensive side of the football, I'm very curious to see what this depth looks like because Bowles was not happy with the overall product last year, and that was a lot of the offseason was geared towards fixing that.
Was that your background noise, or was that my my esteemed co-host Timmy? I think that was him. Yeah,
I think
My volume is off, sir. You got nothing from me.
I think
Tim was he might have been picking up some hurricane debris. Here,
I know my laptop's about to blow away out here, and so I'm hoping that I get it batten down the hatches here for sure. I hope you guys made it through the storm all right. The Storm Team 8, folks.
Yeah,
Did a
no,
great
it's
job.
fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, the Olympics were on so I think a lot of people watched more Olympics than maybe they would have, and so you got to see
Right.
some of the cool stuff like this kayak cross. You ever heard of that? I hadn't. heard of
No,
it
I have
before.
not seen kayak cross. What is that?
Kayak cross. So they go down the rapids. You know
Right.
where you used to. Except
Yeah.
it's 4 people racing, and so you're crashing into each other. You got to go under these barriers. You got to dip yourself under the water. You come up. You got boats coming over your head.
Oh my God!
It's pretty awesome stuff. So you're like, this. Yeah, it's one of the things you're flipping channels. Like, okay, what else do we got here? Oh, what is this? Kayak cross. You watch it, and you're like, whoa! All of a sudden, you're an hour into it, and you're an expert too. When the Olympics are on, you're like, no, I think you should have. I think you should have gone left side with the paddle. You should have gone left. Should have paddled left on that. I saw the debris.
So I've done this in snow skiing with my buddies, and there's some in water, you do kayaking or canoeing, back in the day, and like anything goes, where you could use the paddle as a weapon. So is that what we're doing?
Basically, I don't think you can joust with the paddle, but when you come up and there's a boat at the tip of a kayak swinging over your head, the best advice is to duck. And yes, so that's why they
Wait a
wear
minute.
helmets.
I think we've come up with something. They've missed an opportunity here. They need to add
Exactly.
jousting to the actual competition. I mean,
Next
anything
Olympics,
goes. Yes.
Olympics, we'll be talking about. Hey, JP, did you see the kayak jousting? It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they're definitely missing an opportunity. They got to open it up a little bit more contact. Absolutely. Paddles as a weapon. Absolutely. They got helmets on. What could be wrong? Lose a few teeth? Come on, let's go. Oh, that's
Exactly.
fantastic. So, what other offbeat sports are you watching? I love. Well, it's not. We just don't get to see beach volleyball or men playing volleyball, which I love. I think God, that's such an incredible sport. These 7-foot dudes just hammering it down, and of course, the beach volleyball is the beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Incredibly talented athletes that are really easy on the ice. That's not. And now my wife actually doesn't love the uniforms, but I'm like, no, she thinks she's like it makes them look a little boxy. I'm like, no, I think it's good. I think they picked out some good outfits for the beach volleyball.
Yeah, you could
Thoughts?
say, let me weigh in on this, honey. I want to go with it. Yeah, I'm going to say that
You got to be
if I were at
careful.
this, yeah, if I were at this venue, I would prefer to see the beach volleyball. You sell it as this. Look at the view of the Eiffel Tower. Isn't it amazing? We get to see the Eiffel Tower from the beach volleyball. Who cares
Well,
about the uniform? I'm not looking at those silly uniforms, honey. I want the
well, let's just be
view.
honest. All the ladies are watching track and field. Clearly, they're
Yep.
watching the pole vault.
The pole
Like
vault.
the
Yeah.
pole
Yeah.
vault, the dude that didn't get over the pole vault, the French guy.
Right,
She's like, got to
exactly.
show me. I said, honey, you've made me watch this 25 times. I think I get it. I mean, I know you're watching it at home. And then, like, when they're showing the sprinters, like, she's like, oh, wow, look at that guy. I'm like,
See, yeah,
what are you
right.
talking about? What are you doing? She's like, well, it's right there for you. So, I mean, there's a lot of talk about the outfits this year at the Olympics.
Yesterday, the pole vault wraps up the finals, and the winner from Sweden, young man, actually vaults for LSU.
He's not from
Um,
Sweden. He's lived his entire life in America, and he vaults for Sweden. I figured that one out.
Baton Rouge guy.
Yeah.
He's getting more gumbo than IKEA in his life for sure. But so now this whole pole vault outfit thing has gone the other way. This guy sets a world record, and they're like, ooh, sorry, buddy. Sorry about what's going on in
Yeah,
certain
right.
areas.
And
If
there's
you're
the other
able
thing.
to get over that
If-
bar like that, buddy, I feel for you.
exactly. Yeah, if you're a winner or you're a loser. But I know it's interesting, guys. Like, why is this guy vaulting for Sweden? He grew up in Baton Rouge. He vaults for LSU. He trains at LSU. Well, it turns out his dad was a pole vaulter for Sweden, or a track star, and his mom was also a Swedish athlete. So he could have been on the U.S. team. I don't know if the U.S. team recruited him, but evidently he makes a lot more money winning gold medals for Sweden. So that makes sense. And his dad, I guess they gave his dad a coaching job. So it's kind of like the old high school or a college recruit. They give dad the job and they get the
Right.
recruit. So I don't know. I'm not bent about it. But the fact is, he trains and spent his whole life in America, and he's vaulting for Sweden. It's a little weird.
You see a lot in a lot of the Olympics, track and field, swimming particularly. A lot at one point, some of these heats in the swimming, it's like the SEC championships.
Right. Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, now these athletes representing their countries, but take the woman who won the 100 meters and from St. Lucia, and they show the video of the folks, at the watch party, and it was a tremendous story. But I'm like, let's not get this. Let's not. She didn't just stroll in here, from some shanty that you guys are trying to make this out. She lives in Austin, Texas. She's an 11-time All-American at Texas,
Yes.
and a tremendous woman who has done a great job and dominated every one of her heats. And so it's great for St. Lucia and that, but let's have perspective. She's enjoyed the American coaching for years.
And they should put up a medal count of not who they're competing for, but where they train. If they'd put up a medal count of where these athletes train, we'd win every medal. We'd have 90% of the medals because they all train at our colleges and our universities here and then go win medal. And I'm not bent about it. It's fine. But I think we should recognize that it's still the best place in the world to develop your athleticism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. I love the Olympics for the French swimmer, the guy who's won all the medals and has captivated the country. He lives in Scottsdale, dude. He's an Arizona State.
Yeah, exactly.
So it goes into that. It sounds like we're being bitter about it. I'm just pointing out the fact that what awesome NCAA at all levels, 1, 2, and 3, and even beyond that, what they can produce, the coaches, the facilities. And some of these kids who are from Europe and all these what we call Olympic sports, they are encouraged to come to the U.S. because
of course they are.
The facilities are world class, the competition is world class, and you're going to be prepared to compete in a world class environment like the Olympics or World Championships because you had the top of the top when it came to resources. So. This is what the Olympics shows, and so it's cool. I love watching the Olympics.
I love the Olympics. I don't know why, but I'm getting more out of this Olympics than ever. Maybe because I bought the Peacock, so I can see everything and all of it, and all the weird sports and everything, which I love. But there've been some. Well, let's talk about the positive stuff first before we go talk about the river poo and the male boxers and female, which we will discuss. I ain't afraid of that. So Simone Biles has been tremendous. I know she won silver on the floor, stepped out of bounds a little bit, but her comeback to me has been an incredible story. And just watching her do that floor routine or whatever balance routine or the uneven bars, I mean, I just don't understand how a human being does that. And I still marvel at how she is able to twist and turn and flip 7 times in the air. And every time I watch it, I'm just absolutely amazed. And I love it. I love the women's gymnastics. And the men actually won something, which was nice as well.
Yeah, I love the story of the men's gymnastics went first. It was the very first event of the weekend last week. So that was awesome to see. Simone Biles' story, just her coming back, it just points to the normalcy of anyone who might be having some difficulties or struggling, or it feels like it's such taboo to discuss mental health. But if you are adult enough to say, I need some help, I need to talk to somebody, you can probably pinpoint something and get yourself turned around really quickly. So I think she's a really good example of that. Caleb Dressel as well in swimming.
Yes.
But here's the thing about Simone. First of all, we overuse the term GOAT nowadays. She probably is in that sport. Going back to the Olga Korbut's the 70s, who was doing things that are now outlawed in gymnastics. If you watch any of the videos, people would be dying if they tried some of these things. But if she doesn't injure her calf, I think it was her calf, that she kind of tweaked early in the games. I think she's gold the whole way through. So the fact that she comes out, wins the all around, just shows you the competitiveness and the absolute, almost like an animal. I'm going to come in and take what's mine. I loved it. I thought it was great. And then to have the wherewithal after tweaking the lower leg again on the floor to come through and get that silver medal that she took. She fell off the beam, which bothered her the entire Olympics. She wobbled on the beam the entire Olympics. But it's just unbelievable, the accomplishments for her. And I read somewhere where she's left the door open to come back.
Yeah, for 28 in LA.
Personally, I kind of want to see her go off into the sunset in this fashion. And I want to hear her on TV. I want to hear her do. I want to hear what she has to say in 2028. But that's me, just my opinion. And if she competes, I want her to be at that high level again. I don't want to see her come out here for some swan song just because it's in the United States and not medal.
I agree.
So they did close the gap. The Brazilian gymnast was tremendous, and she has closed the gap on Simone Biles for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And Bobby Fink, we had Brooke Bennett on yesterday talking about Bobby Fink's world record performance in the 1500. First of all, how you swim 1500?
unbelievable, isn't
I
it?
do 2 laps and I'm off to the bar. I'm like, okay, that workout's done. But just the mental fortitude it takes to compete in that endurance race. Of course, Brooke did it as well, winning the 800 twice. I don't get it. And to be able to, and he said that he could, his breathing timed up where he could look up at the scoreboard and see the yellow line, and that he had a chance to break the world record, and he did, and a record that was, as one of the other competitors said, needed to be broken because it was held by a very controversial Chinese swimmer who broke it and never and tested positive later on and never swam again. So good now that that's in his hands. But that was for Clearwater's own. That was a hell of a race and a hell of an Olympics for him.
It was great because at the Olympic trials, he really came to the forefront at this Olympic trials in Indianapolis because he was the defending 800 and 1500 who as a surprise winner in Tokyo. And so now he had the spotlight on him. And he ran away with the 1500, but the 800, he held off a young kid who's getting ready to be a freshman in Florida.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of vulnerability there where you thought when he went to Paris, you thought, okay, you are going to win, right? So it wasn't like Katie Ledecky where you thought, okay, how much is she going to win by?
Right.
When Fink went into that 1500 and he had the Italian guy that was pretty much near his level, I thought, he's going to win this, right? Because he didn't win the 800. And then he came back and put up that effort. And it was a close race throughout. And if people don't follow Bobby Fink much, I've learned watching him from what I've seen him now, he is a closer. And in fact, in Tokyo, he won because he closed and was able to pass and get the surprise medal. Here, he was able to close and pull away from his nearest competitor. And like you said, he's looking at the yellow line. I think it's awesome. You can see what pace you're on, and he turned it on and got the record. That's sweet.
All right, so that was some great performances. Any other performances catch your eye before we go to some of the negative stuff?
There's some things that really impressed me. Well, the play for the U.S. women's rugby.
Yes.
They're calling it the Auburn, Alabama play. I don't know if people understand just how devastating. From the other side, Australia's side, that was absolutely devastating to have that happen. So,
explain to the folks who missed it what happened there.
Well, the United States is down, and the game is down to its final seconds, and they have possession of the ball near their own goal line, the try line, if you will.
So Australia's about to go in, punch it in, and win the game.
Well, Australia is basically clamping down on them, just trying to run out the clock here. And so picture your team on its own 5-yard line, and the defense is just suffocating. And all of a sudden, you get a couple of laterals, and the star player on the team breaks through a broken tackle, which was actually running over a player, and then goes the entire distance to score to get the try. And the stadium was absolutely stunned, so stunned. There was chaos all over the field. Australians are crying. People are cheering. There's staff on the field, and they still had to kick. They still had to kick to win. All they did was tie the game on that. And so it was the kick is basically right in front of the goal. It's a gimme. And so they did that. It was poetic. The other thing I liked, I stumbled across it not by accident, just coincidence, because I was flipping channels during the storm, was the women's cycling. The road race where the American burst out with about 3 kilometers to go. She was not talked about the entire race.
Yeah, I know.
She takes the lead, and even then, no one respected what she had done. They were waiting for her to come back. She never did. She ran away with the gold, and then we later learned her story that she was not even a cyclist because she was a rower her whole life in college, and she had a job in Manhattan and took up cycling for fun in Central Park. Learned how to do it. I think it's awesome. So those are the things when we say, hey, did you watch the Olympics? You learn who these people
stories.
are. It's so awesome. It is so awesome.
All right, so let's talk about the boxer, Khalid from Algeria. There has been a lot of controversy about this. I've done way too much research into this, and it's it's a sad situation. I think Brooks said it best yesterday. It's a sad situation because the majority of the athletes that are involved, there shouldn't be any question about whether you're male or female. There really shouldn't. And I understand there are some issues here that some people may be able to point to, but here are the facts. This is my opinion, maybe not Dan Lucas's opinion, but here are the facts. Um, they were disqualified. Both of these boxers were disqualified 2 times in 2022 and 2023, but allowed to box in 2022 with the IBF. In 2023, both of them tested positive for the XY chromosome, which means you're a man. Now, I understand that there are rarities and abnormalities, and I looked this up. It's 1 in 2,500 can be intersex, but rarely is it to the point where it's as dramatic as this particular individual. So you have the fact that they're XY, also the fact that they both have incredibly elevated testosterone because of that, which is unfair in women's boxing. It's unfair for them, and they both went through what it was male puberty because of the XY chromosome
Right.
and have this unnatural strength for a quote woman. And on a personal level, I feel for the whole situation. I really, really do for that particular person. And I get all that. But also, every boxer that has boxed these boxers in question and their coaches have complained about it. And to me, that's almost the most telling because they've all their life they've boxed against women. They know what boxing against women is like. This is
Right.
different. This is different. So you have the scientific basis, and everybody says, well, born with female parts. I don't know. I wasn't there. And most people who are saying this weren't there. These are media reports. And
Right.
call me crazy, I'm a little dubious about media reports these days. They have a press conference there yesterday with the IBA officials, and the doctor is sitting there saying, I've been doing this for 40 years. I know what a man and a woman is. I know what it is. And he's like, why are you getting mad at me? I'm just telling you what we found, and they failed their gender test. So to me, if you have to make a decision in these situations, you have to err on the side of protecting the greater good. And in my opinion, that's protecting women's sports and the majority of the competitors that don't see this as fair, especially in a combat sport, to err on the side of them being female with all of this evidence, I think is misguided. And I believe they're going to box today at 2:30 for the gold.
Yeah, one fights the Algerian fights today, and I think the Chinese tomorrow. But they're now into the medal round. I think it's the semifinal round,
Yeah.
so they're
And
guaranteed
one
a
more
shot at a
thing on
medal.
this.
Yeah,
When the IBA made their gender, when they disqualified them, the Chinese boxer did not even appeal it. Khalid did appeal it, but dropped his appeal because he knew he was going to lose.
right.
So that's
My
my
question.
perspective. What
So
is yours?
well, my question for it is, well, it goes. First of all, it bleeds into our culture now as parents who have kids playing sports, who will be going into the high school level, maybe the college level. It's a topic of in all the states for sure. What's fair, what's unfair, and there are some drastic examples of unfair
Yes.
that are pretty well documented for sure. My question on all of this is the IOC's role here is their severed relationship with the IBA and the fact that they're basically discounting everything the IBA has said. So there's no opportunity for any transparency to see the paperwork or the tests or what tests were performed. I'd like to see all of this. Why those disqualifications happened, and why the IOC is drastically different in its standards from a boxing federation. They basically pinned this boxing federation on the fact that it's run by one of Putin's buddies, and you can say, okay, that's fine, but that's political.
Right.
Where's the paperwork on the test? I want to see this because I think it would. To me, I think it would. You could go, okay, all right, we see this. You're in or you're out.
Right.
We're left with nothing but speculation in the gray area when these fighters are going to continue to go. And for the individual fighters now, in today's society, of course, you're now vilified on social media. So now you're attacking them as people So it's unfair for everyone. Even the Italian boxer who stopped her fight the other day kind of regretted her decision to be outspoken about it because there's backlash on her as well.
Which is
Nobody
sad.
wins.
Which is really sad. She
Nobody.
was forced to apologize, and I don't believe she believed one word of it.
Nobody. That's the problem. You can say, oh well, here's an opinion, and everybody's against everybody about it. It's a ugly topic, and yeah, it makes watching the sport awkward. So
Yes,
that's how I
exactly.
look at
And
it for
and,
sure.
and listen, if you're gonna you have to err on one side or the other. Protect the 99.9% of
Yeah,
women. In my opinion. But and it has nothing to do with being transgender in the general
right.
population or any of the opportunities that are there. We're talking about a very finite group of people here, combat sport Olympians, and that at least to me, you can't let that happen. All right, the river poo, the river poo. I mean, they had to cancel the marathon race today because
Yep.
I mean, who thought that you could somehow make? Oh, the French did, and they spent 1.5 billion
Yes.
dollars to do it. Somehow you could take a river that's been uninhabitable since 1923
Yeah.
and
100 years.
make it habitable. But I mean, it's just the absolute quintessential French hubris that
Think
thinks
about
that they
this. Think about this, JP. For 100 years, it has been illegal
right.
to swim in that river. If you're out with your buddies, we're in Paris and we've had a few. Guess what? Hey, I'm gonna jump in the Seine. Yeah, do it. You're in jail
Yeah,
because of
going
it.
to
Because
jail.
of yeah, exactly. So now they're gonna.
And then the hospital. You're going to jail and then the hospital, or
Uh,
maybe vice versa.
yeah,
Yeah,
before you process me, can you take me over here to the ER for some testing first?
I mean the
But
fact that an Olympian had to train by not washing his hands so he could get a better tolerance for E. coli is the craziest thing I've ever heard in Olympic sports. I mean,
I find it honestly disgusting, and I
gross.
have and actually triathlon. I always like to peek in and see how the triathlon does
Yeah,
looks in the Olympics, and just the swimming portion of it just appalls me. And then you
yeah,
watch these people come out and they get on the bike, and you're just like, ugh. And the fact that they have delayed things already in this game, I guess when they had all that rain early in the Olympics, it washed
yeah.
the filth from the streets
The
into
poo.
this
Yeah,
yeah. So now they're saying, well, the levels aren't good enough. We're gonna wait and talk to the experts. You know what? It's good by Wednesday. It should be good enough. And I'm thinking, what? You
what?
good enough? The first people from the very first triathlon race in the Seine, their competitors are sick.
Yes.
They're now ill.
I'm going to
That's
believe this guy that went in with a testing kit and says yesterday it was bad, but today it's okay. What? Like,
the guy who pulls up in the swimming pool truck and he's got the net sticking out of the bag and he's got his little pH kit. And he's like,
he's dropping
look,
acid drops in.
that looks pretty
Oh,
good.
these water, these no good. It's like, it smells like, smell it, dude. I don't need a kit. I can see the floaters. I don't need the kit.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Like,
It's just disgusting. Now I was
oh, I see pool. Oh my God, this is
literally
not a race. Oui. Yes,
there's got to
oui,
be
and
a,
poo
a
poo.
river. There's got to be a river somewhere in the outskirts or a lake they
They
can
could
go
have gone, like
to.
Brooks said, they could have gone down to Marseille, the beautiful beaches of Marseille, and done the open water swimming down there. I mean, what are we doing? But they wanted to show off the city. I'm like, haven't we seen enough of the city?
I
It's like
saw
a.
enough of this city in that debacle of an opening ceremony, and
You guys get
and
any
listen,
calls to the newsroom on the opening
uh,
ceremony?
no, but it didn't go as well. I did hear from some ticket holders who were there, who their vantage point, because you're watching. This was obviously made for TV, but I thought to myself, all right, here's where all the bleachers or whatever these are, they're set up for all the fans to sit and watch. There's got to be like big screens for them to watch and enjoy this. No, they sat there, and this one woman said that she sat all night and she saw boats come by, and every time the boat would come by, they would shoot off a big fountain, and it would disrupt her view of the boat. So she got nothing at the opening ceremony.
And how much were those tickets?
In the thousands. And so, and she's got spray water from the poo
She got-
blowing on her.
She
and
bought
it's
holy water
raining.
from the Seine.
Exactly. But hey, listen, you can go in the river. Don't worry, it's safe enough. It's at the level. Level that they said it's okay. Ugh, gross.
All right, so tell the folks what we got coming up Saturday night. You got any good features and stuff for the pregame show?
We got all kinds of cool stuff coming up Saturday. We'll dial in a little bit on Jalen McMillan, the rookie receiver. I think he's going to play a good amount in this game against the Bengals. Also, Wednesday I'm chatting with Coach McGahee, the special teams coach. This new kickoff thing is
crazy.
No one knows how it's going to go. There's been one game, the Hall of Fame game. You saw a couple of examples, and then of course you can look up whatever the XFL did. But this is the biggest mystery for the entire NFL heading into the season. And I'm going to ask him this. Someone's going to figure it out. Someone will, and then of course everyone will copy it. But what does that mean by figuring it out? Does that mean you return a kick for a touchdown twice in a game?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. And I think Bucky Irving might be one of the guys to do it. I think he's going to be their return guy. And I think just from what we've seen in practice, we can't talk about the strategy of what they're doing, but they seem to have figured something out because on the night practice, he got loose a few times. That may mean they're not defending it very well.
That's the drawback. So, what's tougher? Is it kicking and stopping the other team, or is it receiving and trying to break one? The comment people have made so far about it is it's no longer a special teams type thing. Yeah. It's become a football play.
It's a run play. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's now something that's going to be worked on a little more extensively, perhaps in game planning on a weekly basis once we get into the season, because this has turned into a set up and run. And if I'm not mistaken, at least the way Bucky Irving put it, you're looking at maybe breaking one tackle. And that's
you break one tackle because it's so compact. You break one tackle and you're gone if you have the speed, and he's got the speed to burn. So, and I think by the end of the year we may be seeing some throwbacks to the other side. I think it's just going to open it up to some very interesting stuff. So, I'll be looking forward to that interview with the new special teams coach, which is a blessing in and of itself. The Bucs finally have hopefully a good special teams game, because
it's a sore subject for those of us that have been around this team for a while.
Yes, it's been a while since they've been good at anything in that regard. So, all right, Dana, we'll be watching the CW, right? Because we got Olympics on News Channel 8.
Tampa Bay. Absolutely.
CW Tampa Bay. So don't miss it. All right, partner. Appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy those Olympics.
All right, guys. Be good.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk some more football. Looks like practice is over. Hopefully Scott Reynolds is going to be able to join us. He's got some other responsibilities for Pewter Report, so we'll see. But we'll be live here right after this break. Stay with us.
Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on TrueBody and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We got some special guests here. We're brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, and, of course, the folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Don't forget, guys, the Golden Diamond Source is for you as well. You guys got jewelry, right? Don't you? Yeah, they like jewelry. So you can get a nice bracelet with your kid's name on it, cufflinks, great watches at the Golden Diamond Source. Necklaces, ring, get a nice ring there. Beautiful stuff for all the men there. Great selection. So it's not just for the ladies, guys. Go find yourself something nice at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, and always online at theGoldenDiamondSource.com. All right, I got my stepson here, Huddy Hud, and CJ. It was kids' autograph day. Who'd you guys get? What we got here? Okay, speak up. I think that's Jamel Dean. You got there. I see number 35. That's a good one. CJ, who'd you get? You got Bryce Hall, number 34. I see that. 27. So nice. So how was it?
I also got Bryce Hall.
Oh, you got Bryce Hall too? Good. So did you guys enjoy training camp?
Yep.
All right. You Bucks fans now?
Yeah.
All right.
And Bucks fan.
All right. Okay. So we got some happy customers here, Tim. We got some.
I see that. I see that.
Ice pops.
Oh yeah.
You got ice pops too? Ice pops and autographs?
Yep.
See the cheerleaders?
No.
Didn't see the cheerleaders?
No.
Clearly, I did not do enough research. All right. Go get some more ice pops. I got to do the rest of the show. All right. Good job. There we go.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
It's a natural, man. Kid's going to be on the radio soon.
It's just like they had kids autograph day out here, so a lot of the kids got a chance to get a bunch of autographs. So they do such a good job here, Timmy. I don't know what the Cowboys do for training camp. Are they still going to California?
Yeah, they're in Oxnard.
Yeah. So the Bucks do such a great job here for the kids. They get a nice opportunity afterwards to mingle with the players. Players come right over. Players spend a lot of time out here interacting with the fans and families. I was out here on Saturday and just taking tons of pictures. I mean, it's hot. Like these guys, probably the last thing they want to be doing is signing autographs after 2.5 hour practice in the sun. And they spend a lot of time doing it right there, man. And I know, in years past, it's always been open to the public. Mm-hmm. And now I think they did 2 practices that are open to the general public. Most of them you have to be a member of the crew. Today was crew day for season ticket holders, so it wasn't crazy packed, but they do a great job for their season ticket holders, and they should. The season ticket holders, you should get some benefits if you're going to spend your money and be part of the crew. So I know sometimes they get a bad rap for that, but I'm okay as long as they open it up a couple times and the public has a chance to come out and do it. I think that's cool.
Awesome. No, and I think it's interesting. I mean, the Cowboys have never had camp in Dallas. It's always been too, which I say it's because it's always been too hot, but they held camp in Austin at St. Ed's, and that was hotter than Dallas at some points during camp. They went to Wichita Falls right up the road here a couple hours, and that was even hotter. They had some training camps in Wichita Falls that were 115 degrees on the field.
Holy moly.
Before, I guess we're 20 years now into Oxnard, and of course out there it's 68 degrees when they start in the morning and 75 when they leave the field. So, but I think it's cool that when teams, work out and do camp in their home city, especially at their home facility. The Cowboys have all of the equipment, obviously. The Star is the premier, according to Jerry Jones, and I've seen it. It probably is the premier facility for all football franchises in the NFL, but they have to go away because, number one, Jerry wants those California fans to keep being California fans.
That's right.
They lost the Raiders in L.A. and in Oakland, and so, it's especially when you didn't have the Chargers and the Rams in L.A., dude, everybody was Cowboys fans, and that's continued, man. There are a lot of Cowboys fans in California, and that's what Jerry cares about.
We've talked probably ad nauseum for the fans, but about the great camaraderie here and the fact that I've dubbed it Camp Kumbaya, because it's just all kumbaya here. Everybody's singing together. It's just chill. There's no drama here. You had a couple of injuries, but for the most part, the contracts are done. Having a boat parade for Jason Light. I mean, it just could not be going any better. And some people are like, well, is that a good thing? Do you need some adversity? But then I compare and contrast with what's going on in Dallas. Tell us about that, because, Dak's contract, which still leads Get Up every morning for the last 3 months. It's incredible. CeeDee Lamb needs a contract. Micah Parsons needs a contract. Draw a little bit of, because we keep talking about how great things are with the Bucs. Everybody's got their money, but everybody's happy. Draw a comparison to what's going on in Dallas.
It's probably very similar to what's going on in Tampa and a lot of other places. There's not a lot of hostility that way in Dallas. Dak knows he's going to get his money. He doesn't know if it's going to be here. Now, Jerry Jones made Dak and CeeDee Lamb contract offers a week ago this past Friday, and they have yet to be accepted, but they haven't been rejected, if that makes sense.
All right.
And which is interesting to me because all we've been told is that Dak's not getting a contract offer until the end of the year.
Right.
This is an evaluation season for him. And, same thing with Mike McCarthy. And so, I think Dak knows, CeeDee certainly knows he's going to get his money. And the longer Jerry waits, the more he's going to get. And I think CeeDee Lamb's okay with that. CeeDee Lamb knows he's going to be a Cowboy. He doesn't know at what rate. Dak Prescott doesn't know if he's going to be a Cowboy.
Yeah.
But he knows he's getting his money.
But does that affect the team? Does that mean
because this is the way things have been around here for years and years. And it's the way Jerry Jones does business. Is it the right way to do it? I don't know if it's the right or wrong way, but it's definitely the more expensive way to do it.
Yeah.
If Jerry had signed Dak 3 months ago, he could have gotten him, 3 or 4 years, another 3 or 4 years that would have put him at age 35, for $45 million a year. If he'd signed CeeDee 6 months ago, dude, could have saved him probably $20 million a year on that contract, the way things have worked out. And Micah Parsons isn't due for another contract until 2 more years. So yes, while we're talking about it, he's under contract and he's going to be good to go. And nobody's concerned about Micah Parsons. And I'll be honest with you, from my standpoint, I almost hope the Cowboys don't re-sign Micah Parsons because I've seen some things out of him.
We'll take him.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you will. And it sounds crazy for me to say.
Sure, why not?
It sounds crazy for me to say.
I don't have an extra $150 million on me, but if I did, I wouldn't spend it on Micah Parsons.
I think Todd Bowles likes speedy outside linebackers who can rush the passer. Just me, though. I might be wrong in that opinion.
Well, and I may report. Everybody knows.
I may like what I see out of this year because Mike Zimmer's moving him off the ball back a little more than what and that's how he started his rookie year, where he was so great. He was playing off the ball.
He was more of a blitzer than he was a true edge rusher. Right?
Exactly.
In the dirt, yeah.
And that's what he is. And he's a viable in pass defense too. I mean, that he wasn't at Penn State, but man, his first couple of years in Dallas, I don't know who was coaching him, but dude was great in pass coverage. Yeah. So I prefer him in that role in linebacker than I do at defensive end. And if he can do that this year and show me that he can do that, and that's how they're going to play him. I mean, Mike Zimmer's he's on a 1-year deal too. So who knows what's going to happen with coaching next year? You know, when the Cowboys miss the playoffs.
Tim, here's an interesting connection you just mentioned.
Yeah, George Edwards, the outside linebackers coach here in Tampa, was his position coach there in Dallas during his
absolutely
rookie year.
George. Yeah.
So you think Parsons, will it be next year that he'd be a free agent?
Yeah, he's not due a contract this year.
And so next year, all the dead money from Carlton Davis falls off.
Yeah, the Bucs will be positioned in 2025 to start being active participants in free agency. Like not just re-signing their own guys, but having the cap room to go out and really pursue some other big name free agents. And the only big name guy,
Yaya Diaby on one side and Micah Parsons on the other.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Elijah Cansey in the middle.
Yeah,
with Vita Vea.
Sure, why not? Yeah, I think that sounds.
Yeah, see, good. The Cowboys have him under contract through 2025. The 2025 year is a club option, of course. Yeah. That's his 5th-year option, and it's a $21 million club option.
Yeah.
So
the Buccaneers' only big name free agent next year will be Chris Godwin, right?
Right. And they need to re-sign.
And then you have to wonder too. Chris Godwin will be 29 next year. How does Jalen McMillan rise to the occasion? Does he look like a number 2, or is he better off as a number 3 again? Right. I'm curious to see that, because I don't think that Chris Godwin's performance this year stands alone in their decision making. It's, do we have an on-roster replacement for Chris Godwin if we choose to go a different direction? And I'm not knocking Chris. He's phenomenal. He made a great concentration catch today. Could have been another Baker Mayfield interception. Tavier Thomas literally had it in his hands, was bobbling it up. Chris Godwin says, I'll take that, and took it to the house. So Chris Godwin, very special player, but you have to wonder if the specialness, and that's a word I just created for the show, the specialness of Jalen McMillan shows itself early and often during his rookie season. That's going to be a contract, man. That's going to be a $20 million plus contract, because that's what he's making right now. Yeah. And he's not Mike Evans. He's not the dynamic guy. There have been some years where you say it's 1A and 1B. It really isn't. Mike is number 1. Chris is number 2. And at age 29, and he's not 6'5", and he's not the red zone weapon, the touchdown producer that Mike is.
It's a different deal. And now Chris will be better this year.
I think so.
We both do agree. And I don't. And I've said this for the last couple of years. It's not the Godwin that we used to know, because that was a devastating knee injury. Yep. That cheap shot, it blew up his knee, and it was going to take him 2 years to get back.
Yeah.
But now he's 29. I think he's going to have a hell of a season in this offense.
Right. But you have to make that projection. Are we going to get the guy at age 29, because he turns 29 in February, and free agency's in March? Are we going to get the same Chris Godwin at age 30 and 31 that we're expecting next year at age 29 with this new deal, which will be for at least 2 or 3 million, or 2 or 3 years?
And I know Parsons has that 5th-year option, which of course the Cowboys are going to pick up. So he's not going to be a free agent next year, right?
No, it's going to be 2026 is when he'll be a free agent.
Yeah.
But if he was, in the Bucs, which is a long way down, you would rather spend that money, especially if Jalen McMillan elevates,
on a younger player,
on an edge rusher.
Yeah, for sure.
If you still haven't found one by then.
Yeah.
So that's a long way off. We can dream.
And there's a lot of question marks about Chris Godwin too. I mean, his numbers, if we've talked ad nauseum on this show, have declined over the past 3 years, especially his touchdown production.
Yeah. His touchdown production has gone from 9, which was his career high in 2019, 9 to 7 to 5 to 3 to 2.
Yeah.
And he was a 1,000-yard receiver last year, but it was 1,024 yards, right? So you give him credit for it.
Sure.
He was a 1,000-yard guy. There have been years where Mike barely. There was a year when Mike was 1,001, and it still counts.
It still counts.
But it's not like this was a 1,200, 1,300 yard season for Chris Godwin. And I think this year could be that type of year. Chris is highly motivated, very much in shape, has not had a bad camp at all. Things look really good. And with Jalen McMillan, that's another legitimate weapon for Baker Mayfield to throw to, that you're going to see, I think, McMillan explode in the first couple of weeks. Almost like Trey Palmer kind of did last year. Remember, 2 touchdowns right out of the gate for Trey Palmer.
Right.
Season opener against Minnesota, and then in week 4 at New Orleans, which was a key touchdown. Nothing huge in terms of catches and yards, but he was open because Mike and Chris were on the field. And then as teams adjust, right, then I think you're going to see as teams adjust to Jalen McMillan, those defenses adjust to him, then I think things will open up for Chris.
Now they're moving the receivers all over, and we're not supposed to talk about strategy, so we'll do this very lightly. But where do you see them lining up? I see Godwin probably playing the slot most of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Jalen and Mike outside, but they move them around a lot because it's a Liam Cohen offense,
Yeah.
and I think that benefits all the receivers. But I think in general, it's going to be a 3-wide look, and that's
Right.
and Godwin playing that slot position that Puka Nacua plays,
Yeah.
that
Cooper Kupp.
Kupp plays a lot, and those guys have been very productive in this offense.
They have, and in this offense, there's actually 2 slot receivers because they do a lot of bunch formation, right? So you truly have, one flanker, right? Then you have 2 slots. You've got, an interior that's lined up closer to the tackle, and then you've got that middle slot. And I think what that does when you go with a bunch receiver formation, it gives guys that might be a little older and a little bit longer in the tooth a better chance for a free release, because you don't know. It's not like you're one-on-one outside like Mike Evans plays split end a lot, which is that X receiver out there isolated, where it's mano a mano, right, against the cornerback, and Mike's going to get off the line, and it's going to be deep. It's going to be, an in cut. It's going to be, an out. But when you're a slot receiver and you got a slot defender on you, you don't know that. You don't know if he's going to go with a mesh route, literally laterally across the field,
Yeah.
a vertical route, a corner, a skinny post, a comeback curl. You just don't know. So you can't guess. So you have to react to what the receiver's doing. And, Cooper Kupp was not a first-round pick for a reason. His 40-yard dash time. Puka Nacua was not a first-round pick for a reason because of the 40-yard dash time. So when you have guys like Mike and Chris that are still fast enough, but maybe not that spry guy that they were when they were 22, 23 years old with that little bit of oomph, that extra oomph to get off the line, this formation helps those guys get that half a step release just because of the confusion it causes. And I think that's really what's key to this Liam Cohen offense is you give Mike Evans a free release, look out.
Yeah.
And that's going to be manufactured a lot with how they line him up.
And both Jalen and Chris are such great route runners.
Yeah.
And the way they run routes, and Jalen especially, you've heard some of the defensive backs talk about this in camp here, that he has a kind of a shake to his head. There's certain guys that are just so hard to cover. The great Kes McCorvey back in the FSU days. That dude was so awkward, but he just moved in such you never knew which way he was going.
That's right.
And
Kind of like my hair right
he had
now.
like 4.8 speed, but you couldn't cover the dude.
Right.
And Jalen's, you watch him run his routes. He's so smooth, and he comes in and out of his breaks so quick.
Yeah.
That's why he's always open out here.
That's right.
He's always open out here.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to watch. What did you gather from today's practice?
A couple more picks for Baker Mayfield. I thought Baker did not have a good day today.
Yeah.
He threw 2 interceptions, should have had 2 more. Again, Xavier Thomas, who's leading the team with 3 picks, should have had number 4 today. It was right in his hands. He read the route perfect, jumped it, just bobbled it for a minute, and Chris Godwin saw that ball in the air and snatched it. That was one. Then down in the red zone, when Mike Evans was running a quick little, slant. It was more like a, I won't say a flag route because it was like the 5-yard line, but just a quick little out to the sideline of the end zone. And I think Baker kind of misread it a little bit, and his throw wasn't on target. A little windy today.
Yeah.
If we
Very
talk
windy.
about that or not.
Very windy.
Debbie was not a downer today. Debbie was actually breezy and cool.
Debbie did not do Baker well.
Yeah, but
At all.
Baker was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Because Josh Hayes should have had a pick. We did see Zion McCollum jump a slant that was intended for Mike in the red zone, came up with an interception. That's the second of camp. There was another one
the
too.
deep ball
The
to
deep ball
Banks.
to Eric Banks.
I think I said in the first segment,
Marcus Banks.
Marcus Banks.
Yeah.
That may be a ball that he doesn't throw it because they want to see Jalen crack deep balls. So they're in practice. Some of these balls are going to be thrown that they wouldn't throw.
Sure.
I didn't see the others, so I won't make that any judgment on those. But I think that's a ball he probably wouldn't throw in the regular season. More into but they want to see Jalen track balls.
Yeah.
They want to see some of these young receivers catch balls in traffic.
The Banks interception kind of reminded me of when Baker kind of put it up for Trey Palmer against the Saints.
Right.
Here, right before New Year's, and it was a jump ball, and Palmer didn't come down with it, right? So, but I think Baker gave him a chance, and you got to. Sometimes this is what practice is for. These don't count.
Right.
We're going to write about it. Fans are going to fret about it. At the end of the day, Baker starts the season with 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, right? That's just how it is. But the interceptions have kind of been stacking a little bit. And you know what? That's good news for Todd Bowles' defense because they had 13 picks last year, 10 the year before. To put those numbers in perspective, when they won the Super Bowl the first time around with Mike Tomlin in charge of that secondary and Monty Kiffin, he had 31 interceptions, 31 interceptions.
Not counting
just
the playoffs.
secondary. Yeah, not counting the playoffs.
Yeah. Super Bowl.
That was also linebackers, too. Derek Brooks had a whole bunch that year. Sheldon Quarles as well. But, yeah, so you want to see more interceptions from this Todd Bowles defense, so you got to have the give and take in practice.
I mentioned earlier that I thought there was a battle for the backup quarterback position because Trask has not been impressive this camp at all.
But neither is John Wolford.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said neither one of them are right. But I think maybe these games, we'll be watching Saturday night. These games mean something in this offense. Wolford obviously knows it better.
Yeah.
And I want to see how these guys play in the game. Do you think that these games, the Jacksonville game, the Cincinnati game, maybe even the Dolphins game, will determine who the backup is?
I think it's Trask's job to lose.
I agree.
He's done enough in the red zone. He looked pretty sharp today in the red zone. He just does a couple things like, he's not as accurate. He doesn't make enough plays.
He doesn't complete enough balls.
Yeah, he doesn't make enough plays, but he's got 3 interceptions, which is by far the fewest on the team. It's just the 2 of those interceptions have been really ugly.
Yeah.
Literally throwing the ball right to Logan Hall, who he didn't see across the middle, dropping in coverage, having that return for a pick 6 on Saturday. Easily the worst interception in practice. So you knock Trask for that. But then you say...
Kalen Deloach had a pick 6 that he dropped in the red zone on Saturday.
Yeah, but then you look at, he's only thrown 3 interceptions, right? So, he's doing a pretty good job of protecting the ball. It's just that I think if there was greatness in Kyle Trask, we would have seen it by now. There's been enough reps in practice. There's been enough opportunities for him to come out and win the day. On a day where Baker wasn't great today, this was a chance for Kyle Trask to not push Baker for the starting job. That's not going to happen. Baker, by virtue of his contract and what he did last year, will be the unquestioned starter. But for Kyle Trask to compete against himself and elevate his own stock within the building, and having Jason Light say, I want this guy around. I want him to be the backup next year. And, when he's a free agent, and maybe this is the guy we hand the baton off to in a few years, because Baker is older than Kyle Trask by
Let's not
about
forget,
6 years.
One snap away.
That
I mean,
is
this
one
whole
snap away.
season could rest on Kyle Trask's shoulders. And now, I don't have a great confidence in either one of them.
I don't. I've not seen enough in Kyle Trask. And people are going to call me a hater and Trask hater and Gator hater. You just haven't seen the evidence.
I thought he had a great camp last year. I thought he played really well. I think he's regressed.
It seems to me he's resigned to the fact he's a backup. We haven't seen the eye of the tiger we saw in a couple of those practices early in camp when it was neck and neck between he and Baker. And then Baker pulled away. Trask didn't have enough in the tank to do it. Now, Trask is coming off his best preseason, but you look at his body of work in the 3 years, and 4 interceptions in 3 preseasons, 5 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 18 sacks. He's completed 61% of his passes. I think
these are the preseason.
These are the preseason stats. I think that Trask needs to put more touchdowns on the board. He's got to show that he can be a point producer. It can't be in all of. And remember, John Wolford was injured last year. He got injured in the Jets game. And so Trask got the lion's share of those reps in the preseason.
Right.
So now you expect Wolford to take away some of those snaps that Trask had last year,
Right.
which was in abundance. And I just want to see Kyle Trask end this preseason with like 4 touchdowns in 3 games, which would equal the 4 touchdowns that he's had in the previous 3 seasons in the preseason total.
I think he's got some work to do, and hopefully Cincinnati. Did Bowles say if Baker's playing Saturday night?
I don't think he's going to. No. It doesn't make sense for him to.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. It's a new offense. I don't think they played enough in last year's preseason in a new offense for Baker. The offense started slow. I think I would like to see him and the offense get two possessions at least every game.
Yeah.
Every game. Maybe more in the second. You don't think it's going to happen?
I'm at the point now where I'm trying to rationalize in my head. I know the NFL wants to go to 2 preseason games and 18 regular season. Why not just go 20 regular season games?
Well,
I'm
that's a lot. The preseason games, the starters aren't even playing.
Well, right. What I'm saying is you put in 3 bye weeks. You have your roster instead of 53, it's a 70-man roster, and you just go play football. And the reason I say that is because these preseason games, nobody likes them except undrafted free agents trying to make the team. Fans don't like them.
The coaches and
starters
scouts
don't like them.
Well, and now they have the UFL to go show off their talent. They don't need preseason games. They have an actual league they can do that in.
Here's the thing, Tim. How many preseason games are there in college football? That
0.
seems to work out pretty well, right?
0.
You know, like you go out there, and sometimes you start up against Kennesaw State. Sometimes you start off against Florida State,
Georgia Tech,
right? Or like a legit team, and you play football.
Yeah.
And what you do is you do what the NFL owners and TV wants, and also the fans. You put more games out there. That way, this is an offensive league. You can have the 2,000-yard rusher. You can have the 2,000-yard receiver. You can have the 6,000-yard passing quarterback by the end of the year with these extra games. You can rewrite history books.
I think it's too much. I think it's too much on the body.
I think it is too, JP, but it's the direction we're heading, and why swim against the current? Just go ahead and do it.
That I don't mind getting rid of preseason games because they're mostly garbage. I get it. But I think 18 is, I think 16 is too much. I think 16 is perfect.
I'm old.
I think 17 is too much.
I like 16. I had no problems with 16.
16 is fine.
I
But
just
you go
see
from
which
16 to 20, like real games. The preseason games aren't close to obviously what starters are going to get in terms of battering of their body.
Yeah.
20 of those games plus playoff. Like you could play 24 with car collisions a year. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think the body can handle that. The size and the speed of these guys already should be going towards less games for their safety.
I agree.
20
I'm
games.
just telling you, I'm with you. But I'm also at the point where I think it's inevitable. It may not be. I think we're going to get to 18 before 20. Exactly. It's all about the
Money talks.
That's
Money talks.
Money talks.
That's all there is to it. And by the way, the players keep agreeing to it. The players have to agree to it to more games because they get more. But they keep saying yes because they get more money.
2 more bye weeks, right? And I think the other thing too, and you kind of mentioned this, Tim, and I think it's a good one. Imagine what the old NFL Europe would do. When I say NFL Europe for you kids out there, it was an NFL developmental league.
The Barcelona Dragons.
Over in Europe with the London Monarchs, the Frankfurt Galaxy, the Rhine Fire.
Was it Barcelona Dragons?
Barcelona Dragons.
Yeah. The Rhine Fire.
The Rhine Fire, right? You get all those teams back, and you expand your game internationally. You don't do anything in the offseason. It's training camp, and then it's the regular season with maybe a 2-week break. But you send your quarterbacks. You send Kyle Trask.
Yes.
Over there, like Brad Johnson. If you talk to Brad Johnson, former Seminoles and Bucks legend, you talk to him about how much those reps over there developed him and his game.
He played 2 full seasons over there, didn't he?
I believe he did.
Yeah.
You talk about what the old Arena Football League did for Kurt Warner. These quarterbacks need reps. They need them. I mean, so go ahead and have a partnership with the UFL, right? If you're the NFL, make that the minor league.
Yeah.
Send your quarterbacks over there and have them get developmental reps, because if you go to 18 games or 20, that's 1, 2, 3 more games where your starter could be injured.
You need some quality backup
quarterbacks. You need some quality backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree.
Right now, there's There's not 32 great quarterbacks in this league. There's not even 32 good quarterbacks in this league. There's not enough good quarterbacks for all the teams. So why don't you develop those quarterbacks? Because what's happening is you have a guy that blows up 1 year in college and then he makes the jump as a redshirt sophomore or junior.
He started 15 games in his life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's got so much more to learn.
I'll ask how much he would have benefited these last 4 years of playing a full UFL, XFL
No doubt.
season.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. He needs playing time.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you're behind Tom Brady and Brady, is healthy for 17 games and you're behind Baker Mayfield, he's healthy for 17 games.
Those guys would jump at the chance.
You are stuck with playing a composite one game. When you add up all of the series and those 3 preseason games, you shove those all together. Kyle Trask has essentially played 1, maybe 2 games each year, and those are preseason games, throwing to guys who are dropping passes, standing behind an offensive line that sometimes is a turnstile, and he's not getting that much better because he's not going, up against some of the better
Totally agree
players.
about that. Scott Reynolds for the Peter Port joining us here for a few more minutes. You got a chance to talk to Bucky Irving today?
I did, yeah.
He's not a big talker.
No, he's not.
Not a big talker. What did you glean from what he's experienced in these first 10 days?
I mean, he's ready to play some football. He's a tackle football guy.
Right.
He's I hate comparing guys to legends. I was just on Buccaneers.com and I opened my damn mouth and I said Tyke Smith gives me Rondé Barber vibes, and Antoine Winfield Jr.
Thanks,
vibes.
God.
Sometimes you got to speak it into existence, though. And I'm just telling you, there is a rough and tumble between the tackle, slippery shiftiness that I like about Bucky Irving that reminds me of Warwick Dunn.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the comparison that I see. And Dunn was faster. I think he was more explosive. He was a little bit more of a breakaway guy. I think Bucky is just as good a receiver as Dunn is. We'll see if he's as good as a pass protector as Dunn is. Warwick Dunn, probably and I'm just telling you, out of all of the running backs that I've covered here in Tampa Bay, and I've covered some legends, if I was a quarterback and I had to throw a pass and I needed one running back to pass protect for me and stay inside to help block, I'm drafting Warwick Dunn for that job because I know
175 pounds.
I know he will go right for the knees and the thighs of whoever's coming and chop him down like a lumberjack does a tree.
Yeah.
And Warwick Dunn was fearless as a blocker. And I've seen some of that tough Chicago dog mentality from Bucky Irving in pass protection, and I like that about him. So to me, Warwick Dunn was the between the tackle runner that you didn't expect at the NFL level, the deadly receiver on those screen passes and swing passes, and the top-notch optimal pass protector. And I see those 3 qualities in Bucky Irving, and we'll see if he can live up to my big mouth.
You got any questions for Scott, Timmy?
I think he's answered. I had some questions about Chris Godwin that you already answered. I mean, we talked about him needing to increase his stats and be more involved, especially scoring touchdowns. I think that'll come with him working in the slot more because that's where he's found most of his success.
I'm going to push pause on you real quick. We have to talk about Baker Mayfield's rapport with the tight ends.
Yes.
This might be the season where Mike might get 10 touchdowns and that's it. Because as much attention as he gets in the red zone, and you're seeing Chris Godwin sprinkled in a little bit more in the red zone in terms of passes. I mean, on the hierarchy of who am I going to cover, if you got 3 receivers and 1 tight end out there from the 7, 11, 14-yard line, and you're throwing darts into the end zone, the hierarchy is Mike and Chris and Jalen and Kate Otten, or Mike and Chris and Jalen and Payne Durham. And we've seen Payne Durham and we've seen Kate Otten catch a lot of touchdowns.
A ton of balls.
In the red zone.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be kind of the sneaky weapon for this Buccaneer team. And again, I expect Michael, he'll sprinkle in a couple early season scores just because he's Mike. But I think Kate Otten and Jalen McMillan are going to get some early season touchdowns because the focus is not going to be on those guys, and it's going to take defensive coordinators a little while to think about and get some game film on those guys catching touchdowns and say, gosh, we can't just focus on Mike and Chris down here. these guys are going to be killing us if we do.
Well, Jalen's going to get that third best corner
Yeah.
every single time. And the first best corner out here
Yep.
is having a hard time covering Jalen McMillan. He's
That's
just that good in the red zone. He's
Yeah.
going to get man-to-man looks in the red zone.
Agreed.
And if they go zone, Mike will kill you and Otten will kill you with their size.
Yeah.
And so will Chris.
Yep.
And so you can't play zone in the end zone. Their red zone should be so much better than last year. It was
And they're going to
dreadful
run the
last
ball
year.
and score touchdowns in
Oh
the red
my
zone.
God!
too.
You run the ball in the red
Yes,
zone.
they're actually going to do that. We have seen
Oh.
Bucky Irving and Rashad White between the tackles busting in there.
In a 3 tight end set, right?
In a-
Like last
yes,
year?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just like last year.
So,
you know?
so two-part question. We've talked a lot about tight ends. Is Devin Culp getting any looks at all, or is the tight end room just so deep that his progress is going to have to be put on hold?
I think he's the third tight end. I really do. I don't see Kokeith making this team unless Kokeith just absolutely shines on special teams and you know what he has, like that's been kind of one of his roles. But I've seen Payne Durham pick it up as a blocker, and you got to be able to do more than just block to be in this offense. You look at Gerald Everett, you look at Tyler Higbee, these Rams type of tight ends. They want guys that can catch the ball. You want to be ISO'd out there, out wide, getting those one-on-one favorable matchups. You want to bring a linebacker down, fine, I'm going to run by you. You want to bring a corner or safety down, fine. Now I'm 6'5", I'm going to jump over you and make a play. So I think Devin Culp is going to be a guy that kind of like Cade Otton last year. It took a while for Baker and Cade to start baking, but they really did towards the end of the season. Remember, Cade Otton in those 2 postseason games was the Bucs' leading receiver. He had more catches than even Mike did. 8 catches, 89 yards against the Eagles in that game. Had a touchdown catch against the Lions in that in the divisional loss. So I think and keep in mind, Devin Culp is getting second team, third team reps right now because that's his spot on the depth chart. So the more he is put into the mix with the starters, then he'll develop that rapport with Baker Mayfield, that trust, that chemistry. It's just not there yet because Cade's getting those reps.
He's more like Cade Otton than Payne Durham is.
Yes.
So if something were to happen to Cade,
yes,
I think Devin Culp would be put into that spot because he's more athletic than Payne. Yeah. So I think he could have a chance to be have a significant role in his team if Cade were to get hurt.
I agree, and I think Devin is the kind of guy you want between the 20s,
right?
Because you get that yards after catch ability down there in the red zone. We've seen Payne Durham just really kind of overwhelm guys with the size. He is every bit of 6'6", 255, boxes out. He's got really good hands to concentrate.
That little bootleg play they run to him works every freaking time.
Yeah.
The only way I see more touchdowns scored in the red zone this year is if it's not going to require a timeout. Because we know there ain't going to be timeouts called this year.
All right.
Not in the first half.
Here's my big prediction. We will see a Buccaneer touchdown on an opening drive. At some point.
Oh my God!
I know. When I live there, but
what if that happened against the Commanders? The opening drive of the season.
It should happen against the Commanders. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about on an 18-yard flag from Baker to Otton to open the season?
Oh yeah.
See it.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Why not?
All right, Scotty, thank you for jumping in here, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I like our little setup here.
I know, it's nice. It's real nice. Hey,
flags in the back.
I want to give out a little shout out here. We have our Pewter Report podcast on Pewter Report TV that are coming up today at 4 o'clock and Wednesday at 4 o'clock and Thursday at 4 o'clock. Then we have our post-game coverage on Pewter Report TV. It's our YouTube channel. After the game, we have a special guest on Thursday's show.
Who's that?
Former Bucs head coach and current Falcons head coach Raheem Morris.
Ross coming
Wow.
Joining the Pewter Report podcast.
Nice.
To talk all things NFC South, his old Bucs days, his current Falcons days, be a little peek behind enemy lines, and we get to go down. Remember, Raheem Morris was on that Super Bowl team as Mike Tomlin's assistant back in 2002.
That's
almost as an intern. So he has been here really since the beginning of the Bucs defense's greatness. We're going to have him on live at 4 o'clock on Thursday's show on Pewter Report.
That's awesome. I will look forward to that.
Yep.
Tell him I said hello.
I would do that.
All right.
Tim, great seeing you, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right, Scott. We'll see you.
Thank you for jumping out. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap things up here at One Buccaneer Place. We are brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. Just hear that new spot from my man Paolo Tini. You want to talk about authentic Italian? That dude is authentic Italian. You want to go somewhere where all the waiters and the owner speaks like a real Italian, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. And by the way, when he says Branzini, is that the best? You cut the spot, isn't he the best?
Dude, I listened to that spot like 10 times last night before I even put music behind it because I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I would say, Paulo, you got to do your own spot because we need to hear from you. So absolutely. So go to Cafe Paradiso right there on South McDill. It is fabulous, traditional Italian. The prices aren't bananas like these other chain restaurants you go to, and it's real Italian food. They make their own sauces, okay? All right. Cafe Paradiso, we love you. Welcome aboard to our JP Peterson show here. Boy, I could use some of that lasagna right now. Back in 3.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business.
Take your business or nonprofit to the next level with the power of video. Red House Streaming offers complete field production services. Our experience and expertise has you covered every step of the way wherever you want to go. From initial concept to final delivery, we'll handle it all and bring your vision to life. As your all-in-one production partner, we offer comprehensive marketing packages that not only showcase your brand, but amplify your reach. Contact Red House Streaming today.
Hey, if you love golf and the new Top Tracer virtual golf experiences that have taken the golf world by storm, well, you're going to love the new Top Tracer range at Rogers Park in Tampa. It combines the fun of competing virtually on the world's greatest courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with an outdoor range experience to track your ball, not just hitting it to that net. I love it. They have great brand new spacious covered bays, huge fans blowing down. It's very enjoyable even when it's hot. So grab your golf buddies. Great price, $25 an hour up to $45 at peak times. Balls are included, and you can also play the new short course for just $9. It's all at rogersparkgolf.net. To reserve a bay, go to rogersparkgolf.net. I'll see you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're holding on for dear life here. I think Debbie's coming back through to do us again. Good God. Man, there's banging and all kinds of stuff going on around. Did I say that? It's banging going on around. Like, you hear this in the background? I don't know what kind of banging's going on back there, but it's making a lot of noise.
I heard she does that.
Debbie was a downer.
And it was Debbie with a Y, right? DEBBY?
Yeah.
Oh, those are the worst Debbies.
You know, they were giving it, and you know what happened is they disrespected her early on because she wasn't very strong, and they were calling her Little Debbie. They put the little Debbie insignia, the little Debbie cakes.
Wow.
On the Hurricane Tracker. I think I saw Dennis Phillips do that.
She
Playing with
vengeance.
fire, Dennis. Playing with fire, buddy.
She took vengeance.
She did. And that's the thing. It's like Category 1, 60, 70 miles offshore. It just dumped rain and yeah, it's a lot of damage. A lot of damage done. Now it's up in South Carolina, and it's going to stall up there inland and dump all kinds of rain. The rivers get backed up because they're, the surge is coming onshore. The rivers are trying to get. They got some serious damage up there as well. So, do not play around with Mother Nature. She is a bitch.
Wasn't there a commercial that don't mess with mud? What was that for?
Yeah, that was
that
I
butter?
can't believe it's not butter.
Some kind of butter, right?
Some kind of butter, right? Don't mess with Mother Nature.
It's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. Something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
That's funny. Kids just don't get it these days.
One other note, I was perusing the web there. Beauty Report wrote about this. Another 2 bad snaps from Graham Barton. Graham Barton is going to be a very good player in this league. He's got all the ability, but he has not played a lot of center. We got to remember he played left tackle last year at Duke. He hasn't played center since his freshman season at Duke. So I wouldn't push the panic button, though, folks. He'll be fine because he's the type of guy.
Just like you shouldn't press the panic button on Baker's interceptions. Come on, it's August 6th.
But there will be plenty of Baker haters once this hits the wire. Remember that, the wire? Once this hits the web. Oh, Baker's throwing picks. See, I told you he's trash. Blah, blah. And it'll happen. That's fine. Keep downgrading the Bucks. Keep them under the radar. That's fine. That's exactly where the Bucks want to be. You don't get any victories because people talk nice about you. You just get motivated because they trash you. So that's exactly where you want to be. So the more crap you hear about the Bucks, folks, don't go run to Twitter and go, oh, they're picking us to finish last. Don't worry about it. It's exactly where you want to be.
It's fine.
Don't worry about it. Just say, oh, looky here. They picked us last. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thanks for the motivation. That's what Baker Mayfield does. That's what he does. That's what Jason Light does right up there in his office. What's up, Jason?
It's fine.
Oh, he's got the shade down today.
Oh, yeah?
Must be important business going on up there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's
making trades.
Yeah, so just chill. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine. Graham Barton will be fine. He'll get the snaps down, but right now he's having some issues. And, maybe Rob Hainsey starts the season as starting center. I hope not because, he's a good dude. We love Rob Hainsey, but he's just not a great center.
Yeah, I think if you've got to start Hainsey at center again going into this year, I think you're behind where you thought you would be with Barton already, right? Because they plan on him being the starter at center in week 1 against the against the Vikings. And if they have to start with Hainsey at center, I think the O-line's behind where it needs to be too.
100%. And you could also play him at guard, and you can play him at tackle. Of course, you got 2 great tackles, but his versatility helps you there. Because if a tackle gets hurt, you probably might see him slide out there to right or left tackle because he's such a good athlete. He's probably better than Schooley or any of the backups they have. So,
but we've seen Hainsey at center. The problem would still be at center. We've seen him there, and it's not.
But he's they made the playoffs with him at center last year, but the run game sucked. They could be so much better with Barton, but it's going to take some time. You just can't step into this league, especially at that position. We ran over this last week. The old, in fact, I got to get Jeff Fain on the show. I'll get him on the show, the old Bucks center, and have him
Yeah.
take through the mental rep of a center in the NFL. It's just brutal what they have to, the amount of information they have to process in 40 seconds. It's brutal, and you don't get good at it until you've been 2 or 3 years in the league, and it starts to come second nature. I don't care how good of a player you are. Yeah, Graham Barton, I think he's going to be a great one, but they don't really grasp it until 2 or 3 years, into their career. So
Right.
just be patient. But even him in his first year, I think it's going to be a dramatic upgrade over Hainsey, just in terms of the physicality. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he needs to be.
We have to talk a little bit about the story that's dominating baseball. The poor Chicago White Sox. The poor Chicago White Sox. They lost their 21st game in a row to tie the American League record held by the Orioles, I believe.
The Orioles, yeah. I remember that. They started a season 0-21.
0-21.
You remember that?
And you know what? The Rays were 2-4 against the White Sox. They got swept by the White Sox. If they don't make the playoffs by a couple of games, the Rays have had some bad moments, but 0 for 21. Holy crap. That's got to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal. But
I feel you know what? I don't feel sorry for the Chicago White Sox or their fans or their city. I feel nothing for them.
Are they just the most blah franchise in history?
I think so. And they got one of the most blah stadiums, too.
Oh, it's awful.
That whatever the new Comiskey is, that's got to be one of the worst, and I'm talking worst, newish ballparks that I've ever been to. They're the most blasé group of fans. And I went to Wrigley, and it was I'm like, is this baseball? Because this is a completely different atmosphere than when I went to Comiskey.
Yeah.
Like, it was not even close. And I'm not a Cubs fan, but it was fun.
Yeah, Wrigley Field is unbelievable. That's like, of all the stadiums I've been to, it's my favorite by far.
Sure.
By far.
Yeah.
I mean, just everything about Wrigley Field, the outside, Wrigleyville, the inside, sight lines. It's an intimate ballpark. It's just the ivy, the scoreboard. It's just the best. It's the best. And the White Sox Stadium is absolutely the antithesis of all of that. It is. It's so bad. I feel sorry for the people of South Chicago. They get screwed about. I mean, it's like, I'd say it's like living in a third world country, but it's pretty much every city in America now is like living in a third world country.
Kind of is.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else we missed? What are we looking forward to? The Olympics today. We got the gold medal for domestic violence at 2:30. Is up for grabs.
What is that? The boxing or something?
Yeah, it's the boxing.
I'm so glad I'm not. And look, I get that you're into it this year.
Gonna beat up on some woman.
And I get that you're enjoying your Peacock subscription. I've had that for years because that's really the only way I can watch IndyCar a lot of times.
Right.
But I can't even tell you how much I just don't care. I have not watched 1 second of any sport. I heard you yesterday, you and Nick talking about a lot. It sounded exciting, and you had Brooke on. By the way, amazing individual, amazing person, Brooke.
Oh, yeah, she's incredible.
That was a great interview, and she's an amazing chick for what she's been able to accomplish here. But sorry, I meant to say person, not chick. That's probably degrading, isn't it? But
be okay with it.
I even tried to care about some of it, and I just have zero. I watched reruns of Perry Mason instead of watching some of the Olympic events.
Dude, some of these stories are so incredible, though. They really
I don't know
are.
any of the stories.
I mean, some of these, like the cyclist that Dan was talking about, that was a used to be a rower. I mean, how the hell does that happen? And then some of the track and field stories are incredible. Adrian Knighton, who's from Tampa, last night he was running into 200 semis, won his semi. He's 20 years old. He's a budding sprinter. He'll be running tonight. The Noah Lyle, the 100 was just incredibly exciting watching him come back and win that in that 30, 40 seconds, and nobody knew who won the damn race. And they're all looking up at the board, and I'm like, who won? I think it was I don't know. And they're showing the replay, and we just don't know. His head was over, but his torso wasn't. I'm like, what? That was incredible. And now he's going to go for the double into 200 tonight, I believe tonight or tomorrow. So there's so many great stories. I mean, how can you not watch beach volleyball? Like, what kind of red-blooded American man are you that you can't
Well,
watch?
I
beach
watched
volleyball?
USA and Canada at the bar the other night because it was
Right?
on. I'm not a
Right.
fan of the uniforms, dude. What happened to the bikini tops and the little shorts? They're wearing I don't know. They're wearing pants. Why are you wearing pants on beach
Oh,
volleyball?
they're not wearing pants. Not
They
the
were
ones
when I watched
saw.
them. They were long. They were long like tights.
No,
Both
no, I don't know
teams.
what. No, they were. They got it right.
All right. Well, maybe I'll go watch some reruns of that then, because I dig
And
that.
you got pole vaulters knocking over the bar with their junk. I mean,
We've all
this
been
has
there, right?
This has been I have same issues. This it's just been the craziest Olympics ever. It's been bananas.
It's like I saw a meme on that said, "Imagine losing the gold medal because you're well hung."
Yeah. And I said, Ashley, do a post connecting the Haktua girl with the Olympic guy that knocked over the bar. And she did it. Just got like 10,000 views.
Oh
So
my
I'm
God.
like, the two people that got most famous in the last month, Haktua girl and the guy that knocked over the bar with his junk.
Oh, and the Turkish shooter. He's
And the
pretty
Turkish
famous
shooter,
right now.
The Turkish shooter with his hand in the pocket,
Yeah, that was so
Liam
great.
Neeson. Yeah, that's it.
Liam Neeson.
How can you not watch this stuff, man? It's fantastic.
I find out about him after the fact.
All right, I'm going to get blown away here. Great job, Timmy. Appreciate you. Thanks to Scott Reynolds, Dan Lucas. If you missed anything before I blow away, go like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, please. And like and subscribe at the podcast and enjoy the podcast. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow again here live from camp.